we're just like cleaning up, and one of the guys like, man, I got some weed. Y'all wanna spark it up? And we decide we just gonna smoke while we cleaning up and chilling and get the store going. On God, Mike Anderson, who is all every bit of 6'7", 320, pokes his head in the door. I'm sitting on the pizza table behind the kitchen door, sitting on the pizza table, blunt in my hand, and he got to duck through the door. Ducks through the door, looks in like, and he looks and he's like, and he is beet red and pissed, and he looks at us, and we just shook. I'm just shook. What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's Curry Sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing. Like, we've been putting Todd's curry sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, toddscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliot, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it. What's up, Pizza Fam? Listen, I'm doing something a little bit different this week. I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning because it's come up over the last couple of weeks. Like, folks are asking me, T, where you come from? What's your origin story? How'd you get into the pizza business? And, we got a lot of new fans, a lot of new listeners, a lot of new subscribers. So I thought it was just good to just take it back and, kind of give you the podcast version of where T came from and how did I get in this place where, I can now, call myself a lover of pizza and a participant in the pizza game. So that's what we got today. So stay tuned. It's going to be a trip down memory lane, I should say, a trip down memory lane. And, I appreciate each of you for joining me on this because as I was making the notes, it was apparent that who I am today is 1000% a result of the mistakes that I've made. And the other thing that was obvious and apparent was I should not be here. I shouldn't be here. I should have been fired, canceled, cast away so many times. But here we are. We're still kicking. We're still doing it. And I am so grateful for the journey, for the lessons that I've learned, for the mistakes that I've made, and some of them have been monumental. I'm going to tell you about them all. Well, I'm going to tell you about the biggest ones and the lessons that I learned from them. And that's really what this story becomes. I'm not just going to run down my resume because that's boring as hell. Who cares about where I've worked? What I want to talk about is the mistakes that I've made, the lessons that I've learned from those mistakes, and how they've, propelled me and lifted me to the leader, the business owner, the pizza maker, the dad, the husband, the son, the brother, the uncle, all the things that I am today that, continue to be celebrated. And I'm eternally grateful for that too. So that's what we're here for. I'll take you back to 19 years old, working at Little Caesars Pizza in Lansing, Michigan. That was where I started as a pizza maker. Now, I was raised by my grandparents in Lansing, Michigan. We were not a pizza eating family, very traditional Southern family, Southern Black family that, my grandmother cooked dinner every single day. She, we went to church every Sunday. We went out to eat after church. We did not eat out a lot. And when we did eat out, it was, like family meal. Really wasn't even family meal. We were going to freaking Old Country Buffet or Ryan Steakhouse, which is another buffet. That's when we went out. So we didn't order pizza. I can't say that I remember there ever being a time where we ordered a pizza in my grandma's house. in my grandparents' house. My grandfather never brought one home. He's a truck driver. And my grandma, no, we never ordered pizza. We did have a little corner store down at the end of our block attached to Corey's Bar and Party Store that sold slices. So I did eat slices all the time. I would walk down there, slices were like $1.25 or something. Whenever I had a couple bucks, we would always go grab some slices and do that. But that was like, I guess from that sense, pizza kind of became like a treat for me because I had to, have a couple dollars to go get some pizza. It wasn't part of any of our family tradition. So I could promise you it's different now because we eat pizza all the time in this house. All the time. So working at, getting a job at Little Caesars, 19 over in Lansing was really my introduction to the pizza world, to the pizza business. And you can say what you want about Little Caesars. It was fun for me because I got to learn about what it was like behind the scenes. I was a prep guy. I was washing dishes, washing pans, doing prep, making dough. Every single night I would work the shifts. I was pretty much the closer at Little Caesars, and I loved it. I loved being part of the team. I loved, just being in there, having fun, kicking it with the guys and the girls. We just had a blast in there. It was not a very busy store. I remember, and I know that because I remember us trying to raise ourselves so that we could start to offer delivery. We didn't deliver from our stores, a carry-out store. So just learning that and really learning the ins and outs of the business behind the scene. And, there was always a certain amount of responsibilities and accountabilities that came with being a shift manager or assistant manager in the Little Caesars. You got to close up, you got to, do the box counts and the cheese counts every night and, count the drawer down or Z out the register. That was back when we had to Z them out, turn it to Z, run the tape, dating myself with that one. We had to Z the register out every night and, count up all the tickets. And we were literally by hand because we would take orders by hand over the phone on ticket pads. So then we would have to go make a tally of all the pizzas we sold from the tickets and then compare that with the box count to get a variance for the night. That was crazy times. Thank God for technology. But my first, and I'll say this, I should have been out of the pizza game long before now. Working at Little Caesars, I made, just a god awful mistake. I remember coming in one day, or not even coming in, I think the GM Jason called me and said, "Hey bro, I need you to come up here." So I go up to the stores. It wasn't too far from where I live. So I walked over to the store and he's he's sitting in the office and he's got these two pink sheets of paper and I still have it. I'll just show you right now. I still have these because he had these two pink sheets of paper on the desk and I'd never seen it before. I didn't know what was going on, but he said, "Hey, he's like, what happened last night?" I'm like, "Oh, what you mean? What happened last night? So rough clothes? Did something happen?" I'm like, "No, it was great. It was cool." So then he goes, "Well, we need to sit down and talk because I gotta write you up." And he wrote me up. And this is what it said. First, this is December 4th, 2002. Little Caesars, Tyrell Reed. You can see my name on it. And it says, check the nature of the incident, carelessness, failure to record the box count. So this is my first write-up. I get written up and I had failed to do the box count on Wednesday, December 4th. Failed to do the box count, which in turn messed up not only Wednesday's count, but Thursday's count as well. Take the time to recheck all the required closing paperwork before you leave. Box counts are vital. They ensure people aren't stealing, giving away food, or throwing away food. That was the light one. That wasn't all. And that was fine. I deserve to be written up for that. I deserve to be fired for the other things that I did on that very same night. So the first one was carelessness. This one, second write-up for the same night, carelessness, cash management, violation of security policies. It says on 12/5/02, I arrived to find the door unlocked. On top of that, there was $120 left in envelopes under the counter and the safe was unlocked. Door unlocked, cash exposed, safe unlocked. Come on, T. Come on. Totally. And I'm not, he should have fired me. I would have fired me. Door unlocked, cash exposed, safe unlocked. So other cash vulnerable at that point. I don't even know what I was doing. What I was going through at that point. 19 years old, actually 12/02. I just turned 20 years old and I was just careless. I was just careless. I was a kid. They gave me responsibility that I wasn't ready for. I didn't pay attention. I was distracted by something. I was probably trying to get out and go kick it, hang with the guys or whatever, running around. I was doing at that point in my life. And I left the entire business vulnerable at that point. And he should have fired me. I should not be here today. I should have been in a totally different career field because of the mistakes that I made there. And I keep these as a reminder that, look, you can bounce back from mistakes. I needed to learn it. His coaching was, look, be more careful and attentive when you close. Take your time. Make sure everything's done before you leave. This is your first and final warning. So thank you, Jason, for that warning. I actually ended up moving to Florida just a few months later. So I stayed there until I was gone. I bounced back. I became a good shift leader and assistant manager. It was actually like a heartfelt departure from there because I had made so many good friends at Little Caesars. They got me I remember it vividly because they got me a gift card, like a Best Buy gift card, and they bought me a bamboo plant. I still love plants, by the way. They bought me a bamboo plant and a Best Buy gift card, and I used that Best Buy gift card to buy a new radio for the store because we needed that shit. And I just wanted them to have something that, that they remembered about me. Shout out to everybody that I worked at Little Caesars with in Lansing because damn, we had a good ass time. And, I'm sorry for making that mistake, but I also appreciate the coaching that I received and the fact that he allowed me to stay there, learn from my lessons and grow from it. So that was the first big lesson, was just maturity. Just needed to grow up, needed to take what I was doing seriously and be more responsible. First big lesson in business. Be responsible, be attentive, take it serious. Fast forward a year or so later, I'm in Florida. I'm working at West Shore Pizza in Riverview, West Shore Pizza franchise, working for franchisees Mike and Beth Anderson. Great couple. They actually ended up selling the store back to corporate, and we didn't know that as a team. Actually, we found out just as guys just walking in the store like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Tyrell." He goes, "Well, I'm Bob. I'm the new owner. Yeah, I'm the founder of this company. I'm the owner." We had always heard stories about Bobby V, but nobody had ever met him. So that's me meeting Bobby V, who founded West Shore Pizza, as he was buying the franchise back from Mike and Beth Anderson. Shout out to Captain Mike too. This is still my guy to this day. So he bought the store back, and he's making some changes. He's cleaning everything up. He's giving, there was a new energy in the store. Everybody's we had to work harder than we were working before because we were chilling before. So whole new energy in the store. Everybody's excited. We got a new owner. He's putting some money in, and we're starting to see some sales, and we're getting busy. But one day he pulled me aside, or we were in the car riding to another location. He owned multiple locations, and we were going to his office in South Tampa. And he asked me, T, what do you want out of this thing? What do you want to do? What do you want to do from this? Or what are your goals? And at that point, I was in school. I was going to ITT Tech, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to school now so that I can, hopefully get this degree in civil drafting and engineering, and come out. I can make 65,000. And he goes, "Oh, okay." I'm like, that's what I'm working on. I've always been an artsy kid. I wanted to just kind of get into civil drafting and design, drawing roads and bridges, such fun stuff. And he goes, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Well," "you never thought about, wanting to, run a restaurant, be a general manager?" Like, "No, I never really thought about it. I'm just doing this part-time, doing my thing while I go to school." He goes, "Oh, okay." He goes, "Well, I could pay you $60,000 in my sleep." And I was like, "Hold on." I was like, "Well, I'll stop going to school right now. If I can shortcut get into the money, I'll stop going to school right now." I'm like, you sure? You think there's something I can do?" He was like, "Yeah." But then he said something to me that became very much a part of my story. He said, "Yeah, I believe in you. And I know that you're not going to do anything stupid like smoke weed in the kitchen." And when I tell you, I was shook. I was embarrassed. I probably turned white as a ghost. Now, what you don't know is maybe 6 months before that, myself, two other guys on the team, genius idea. We decide to, before even closing, and we were slow as hell. We're just like cleaning up, and one of the guys like, "Man, I got some weed. Y'all wanna spark it up?" And we decide we just gonna smoke while we cleaning up and chilling and get the store going. On God, Mike Anderson, who is every bit of 6'7", 320, pokes his head in the door. I'm sitting on the pizza table behind the kitchen door, sitting on the pizza table, blunt in my hand, and he got to duck through the door. Ducks through the door, looks in like, and he looks and he's like, and he is beet red and pissed, and he looks at us, and we just shook. I'm just shook. I'm just sitting there, got nothing, jumped down like panic mode, and he just walked out. He walked out, and we're shook because he is pissed. And so we just finished cleaning up, and next thing you know, he came back like 5-10 minutes later, and he was so pissed off. He was like, "What if I was the sheriff? Like, what if I was a customer? Like, anybody could have come in here, and you guys are doing the dumbest shit in the world. Like, come on, man, you just gotta be more responsible." So he should have fired me. He didn't fire me. That night he goes, "I fire you, but I'd have to clean this shit up myself." And maybe that was just his way of saying, like, giving us a wake up call. He didn't fire us. He was disappointed. Never did anything like that again. But as Bob says it to me, it brought all those feelings right back to me. And I'm like, "Oh, damn. Oh, you know about that?" He goes, "Yeah, I know about it." He called me after it happened, and I told him he should have fired you. And the fact that you're still here means that he saw something in you, or you must be pretty good, or he saw something in you that was worth hanging on to, because I told him to get rid of you and he didn't. So, that was like the first time that I felt like somebody, and maybe not the first time, but I knew then that, like, okay, these guys believe in me. Maybe I should be taking it more serious. So, like, second lesson, like, be mature. Be mature. Don't do dumb shit. That was me at 21 years old doing some bonehead shit. So that's probably one of the worst things I've ever done as an employee. Because seriously, come on, bro. In the kitchen, I don't even know what I would do now if I seen that. I would be so disappointed if I walked in as an owner and saw the people on my team treating the business like that, so carelessly. So that was another time. Totally left the business exposed, left myself exposed. Could have gotten a ton of trouble. Just so many bad things could have happened that didn't happen, which was another wake up call for me. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm 23 years old. I've been now at this point working for Bobby for a couple of years. We've opened multiple locations, just helping him lead more stores, kind of in a hybrid district manager, general manager role, with Bob, just doing my thing, loving it, having a great time. And there was an opportunity for a franchise in Lakeland, Florida. Franchisee was ready to sell. He didn't really have anybody that could run it. He's wanting to get out. It was going to be a great deal. And, Bob's like, "Hey, I think you're ready for this." I'm like, "I'm not ready. First of all, I didn't have no money." Guy wanted $80,000 for this restaurant. I'm like, "I don't have any money." He goes, "Look, we'll work all that out. But I think you're ready." And Bob totally believed in me, totally staked me on this franchise. This is my first like close. I'm at the closing table as a 23-year-old. We're signing all the documents, and I'm taking over, and here I take on this liability. Pretty much got it for no money down, just taking it over. Gonna give this guy $80K for this restaurant. And turns out I wasn't ready, because within, I don't know, call it 6 months, I was completely out of it. We had lost so much money. And long story short from that one was, I was very sound operationally. I knew I could run a West Shore Pizza. I've been doing it for years at that point. I'd run multiple locations. I could run a West Shore Pizza. What I was not ready for was financially managing a business. And I had no idea what my P&L was looking like. I had never hired an accountant. I'd never had to, secure and run a payroll. I'd never had to write such big checks in my life every single week. I was not ready to financially manage that business. I could run the store. I was not ready to run the business. I didn't know what I was doing. We lost so much money. Took on a partner. I was 100% owner. Took on a partner, a guy that actually had worked in the business, met me, decided he wanted to invest. He wanted to become a 50-50 partner. We actually sold him 50% of that business for $75K, which essentially took care of the note that I was on the hook for the 80. So I was able to make sure that that guy was whole. So I didn't have an obligation there. We sold that. But now I own 50%, but I don't have any debt. We continue to run the store for a few more months. It's not working out. The partnership isn't working. And Brian, who was my partner there, he just like, all right, man, like, what are we gonna do? I'm like, you can have it. He's like, but we've lost so much money, and we lost, and over that period, we probably lost another $40,000 in cash. Food all over the place, cash gone, no idea what we were doing. So I'm like, look, I don't know. He figured the way we did the math. I don't know how it turned out. I don't even know how we decided this, but I wanted to walk away. He wanted to hang on to the business. I owed him some money, I guess, for that reason. And I actually signed over the title to my Lexus. I had a Lexus, like a little Lexus ES 300, ES 350, or whatever it was. Signed over the title to my Lexus, which was like my pride and joy at that point, and was dead ass broke on my ass. No store, no car, no store, no money, and I was like defeated. And I gave him that shit. I actually ended up just packing up my shit and going back to Michigan, tail tucked. Went back home to my mama's basement and back to where I was from, back to the streets. And it was that was hard for me. That was hard. I actually ended up back in Florida a few months later. Bob called me and said, look, man, are you ready to come back and give this another shot? And I'm like, seriously? He goes, look, man, look, just make mistakes. You gotta be able to communicate. And that was the lesson that I learned from that one was, look, if you need help, raise your hand and talk to people. You have resources. Because we could have talked through that. Nothing that was not a problem that couldn't have been solved, because all of that happened without me talking to my mentor, which was the mistake. I should have talked to somebody. I should have got counseling. I should have sought counsel from people who have been through these things. So I didn't. I just kind of took it on the chin and packed it up and went home. So he's like, look, bro, you can talk to me. There's those problems actually aren't as big as you thought they were. We could have fixed that. We could have solved that. And, the biggest lesson was, look, man, you got to be able to understand the finances of this business, but then you got to be able to ask for help. You got to know that you have resources out here, and take advantage of those resources, use them. You have me. And that was really a big lesson for me. So he brought me back. He actually flew me back. He was like, look, you say you're ready. I'll get you a ticket. You can come back tomorrow. And he did. I spent the summer in Michigan, and Bob decided that he was actually buying another store. He goes, I need you to work on the store with me if you want to do it. If you're ready, I'll have you back here tomorrow. And he, true to his word, got me a ticket, and he told me, look, you stick with me, you'll never have to worry about anything again. And true to his word, never had to worry about anything after that ever again. And I'm glad that I did, because that summer, man, that was pretty rough. Even though I had fun and I was at home and I was with my people, it was really, spending a lot of time with my little bro. My little bro caught a pretty major case that summer and spent 9-10 years in a federal prison after that. So there's no doubt in my mind that if I was still home, I would have been with him doing whatever he was doing, because I was with him doing whatever he was doing, and I would have been in that situation. So again, having a relationship saved me. Lean on your relationships. The business is about relationships. That relationship that I had with Bob here in Florida saved me from a potentially life-changing situation that I would have undoubtedly gotten myself into. So yeah, grateful for that. 100%. Brother's fine now. He's doing his thing. So, but just know that could have changed who I am, and changed my whole life. So I get back to Florida, and we're working, and I'm doing my thing, and somehow we decide that we're gonna give this thing another shot. Actually, was working opening franchises for Bob, working on the corporate side, literally, just writing the manuals and all of the the operations guys, the specs. We were just doing the day-to-day work of running a franchise company and running the restaurants. We started to open some franchises in Ohio, and met a group of folks that were just interested in doing some turnkey stores and flipping them, and they really wanted our help, JR and I, because we were just workers, just grinding it out in these stores. Hey, you guys want to come on board and do this with us? We're going to buy some stores. We could use your help. We just want to turnkey some restaurants. So we agreed that we'll just start doing this together with these guys. And we bought the Valrico store, flipped that one. We bought Riverview, the store that I actually had started in. We bought that one. We bought Apollo Beach and flipped it. I got out of Riverview, flipped all of those into the store that we have now, which is the Brandon store. What else? We had a store in St. Pete. I'm just kind of going down the list. We bought and sold a bunch of stores, hung on to the one, and we have been incredibly successful there. And it's definitely because we've gone through, and I know that's because I've gone through so many different things. But we have a team. We have a core group of folks that everyone understands their role. We depend on one another, and we do all of the things that it takes to be successful. We put the business first. We don't have egos. We don't have those same problems that I had as a young fella. So grateful for that. But that is my story and my journey and how I've done in the pizza game. That's actually not all of it. I had another failure in there, a failure of a business, but it didn't kill my spirit or hurt me. But I did have, during that time, I was working for Fuzzy's Taco Shop at the time, as a franchise support consultant. I spent, I don't know, I was with Fuzzy's from 2014 to 2019. But during that time, I bought a franchise from West Shore. It was a West Shore corporate store, the Riverview store, the store that I'd started in and walked to as a 21-year-old. There was a deal and they wanted to get rid of it. So actually bought that store from them. I was still traveling, working full time at a corporate gig, and decided to, I'm like, I'm doing well enough. I can do this. I'm making good money. Let's buy a franchise. Convince my wife that we should do it. And this will be my last one because there was a lesson in this. I bought that store in 2017 and I closed it during COVID, 2021, October 2021. Those 4 years were so hard. And the lesson that I learned was you can do things right. I was literally working every day. I was flying out on Monday, coming home on Thursday, working in the pizza shop Friday, Saturday, taking Sundays off, but really not off because I was getting ready to leave again on Monday. It took so much time for so little, for so little money. I wasn't making so much money that it changed our lives. It was where I needed to learn to develop leaders in a team. And that's actually where 95% of the material that I've built and created and push as my coaching business now came from that time, because I learned over that period that I could not do everything myself. I was trying. I'm telling you, I would get on a plane, I fly to Texas, and as soon as I land, I get a call that something happened. The phones are down and nobody could figure it out, and the store's just closed until I get back. Or if I couldn't work, then the store just wouldn't open. It was literally just killing me and wearing me down. Still had another store with the partners over there that was doing very well and supporting us, but I tried to do one on my own and it just did not work out. So what happened was we were just burning through, it was burning me out. It was burning through cash, and and this is another big lesson for you. Be careful with how you decide to take money for your business. I made the cardinal sin of taking a cash advance, like a credit card advance, and the store was doing well, like probably doing all right. It's probably doing 65,000 a month, and took a merchant cash advance because I was tired of like peeling out of my bank account and supporting the store. It was costing me out of my pocket, probably $4,000 or $5,000 a month just to keep it going, overpaying folks that weren't really productive. It was just a total mess. So we took a merchant cash advance. It literally sucked all of the profit out of the business to the point where it's like, look, just shut it down. I'll pay off all of these debts over time, which it probably took me another year and a half to after closing it took me another year and a half to pay all the bills. But I learned that you really have to put a team in there that cares about the business, a team that you can develop, a team that takes responsibility, having a leader in place that drives the business. And that's where I learned those lessons. I learned them, not only from my time working with other brands, which I worked with several other brands throughout this period, but I learned it most from my own situation because I was trying to be Superman in that thing, and it was not working. It was not working. I didn't have the capacity to be a full-time consultant on the corporate side, a full-time husband and father, a full-time pizzeria operator, and a partner in another business that still needed help and support. Like I still pick up a shift every now and then over there. So it was like, it was wearing me so thin that nothing was getting done, efficiently or effectively. So, but we learned those lessons, and we still, we live to continue the fight. And I am a testament of saying, look, you can make mistakes and bounce back from them. And just to recap, the biggest ones were, look, take it seriously. That's what I learned from Little Caesars. You gotta take what you do seriously. Don't be so careless. Second was, you have to be mature. Like, don't do things to jeopardize the business. That was me smoking weed in the store in Riverview. And then you really got to learn to develop people and develop a team that can support you, so that you don't have to do everything on your own. And lastly, I had to learn to, raise my hand and ask for help. That's what I learned from my first store in Lakeland. So yeah, that's my story. I'm happy to be where I am now. We have a very successful business, and I am, just eternally grateful for that. And yeah, that's your boy. That's my story. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for rocking with me. And any questions, just hit me up, info@tyrellreed.com, if you want to know more about me. If you want to learn more about the mistakes that I made, I'm happy to jump on a call and talk through that. And yeah, come be a guest on a podcast. Tell me your story. That's what I would like. Come be a guest. Come talk to me about what you're doing. And yeah, that's all I got. See ya.